Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hormone Helper podcast. I'm Coach Andrew, your hormone helper from Fit for All Fitness. I personally coach over 1,600 men and women to help better understand their hormones so they can lose weight and get their metabolism back on track. With this podcast, you're going to hear from me and my special guests about everything from metabolism to thyroid to weight loss. And we even talk a little bit of sexy time as we chat to spread more knowledge, thick like butter, on your hormones. If you're ready to learn, I'm ready to share, so let's do this.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the recording.
Huh? No, it is now. Yeah, it'll clip the front of it, so just start like this now. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to another.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Getting Real with the Costas. We are here with the lovely Andrew Costa.
Yay.
Super excited. And we really want to take a moment in this Getting Real with the Costas episode to really talk about how our health has skyrocketed our business. For me personally, how ending my binge eating has served me in my life and just being able to make a greater impact in this world and generate more wealth. And, same with Andrew in terms of the hormone aspect. So this is going to be a super juicy episode. Why don't we kick off this episode with sharing some recent successes?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's crazy to say, but you and I were taking a look, like you had your recent 50K month, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then I was taking a look at my Stripe account, looking at basically like, oh, I wonder kind of what I'm at. And literally 999.6, almost $1 million in revenue from, close to, I think at this point, almost 4,000 clients. I think it's like 3,800 people we've worked with, but it's a phenomenal amount of people whose lives to change. It's crazy because I'd say like 8 years in the business, when I had said I want to help 5,000 people, I thought 5,000 people was like this giant number.
Yeah.
That it would take me 25 years to hit 5,000 people. And then all of a sudden it's looking at that number going, oh, wow, 5,000 is actually absolutely nothing compared to the amount of people that we can help.
Yeah.
And it's a great testament to our programs, to the process, to the communities that we've built, but a huge milestone, I think, on my end of the business, not just from hitting that $1 million mark, but knowing how many people's lives have been changed through the process, working one-on-one with people and in our group program, which is awesome.
Yeah. Andrew and I, we both have different businesses, of course. And we first initially started our coaching business because we just wanted to serve people. Many of you guys know, I'll share my story. Andrew can go into his. I was a personal trainer. I was a health coach. And at the time in 2018, when we had our fitness studio, that's when I was struggling the most with my relationship with food. And I truly felt like a fraud because here I was telling clients, to not feel guilty or just go out for dinner and not feel bad about it. And behind the scenes, I was stressing out, I was having anxiety. And your relationship with food, it impacts your career, it impacts everything. And at the time, number one, not only did I feel like a fraud, but also number two, I felt like I was just living a double life. People would tell me oh, you're so motivated. You're in the gym all the time. You're so healthy. And I was like, well, if only you knew what went on behind the scenes of this constant obsession, feeling out of control with food. And that definitely impacted my career, barely being able to function, just constantly thinking about food 24/7. But also not serving as many clients as I could because I truly believe people can feel your energy. If you are not a truly living, if you're not living an embodiment of what it is that you teach, people can feel that, and I feel like a huge reason why, I wasn't attracting, as many clients as I wanted to at the beginning of my business is because, I was struggling, I was struggling behind the scenes. And again, people can truly feel that. And, as a result of healing my relationship with food and ending my binge eating, I have, obviously been able to serve so many more clients and make a way better, bigger impact in this world because people can feel my energy. People see like, okay, Lorna, you've been binge free for 4 years now. I see you living out your dream life. You have an incredible relationship with your husband. You're able to go out for dinner, go on vacation without stress, without anxiety. And, as a result of me really taking care of myself, my physical health, my mental health, having good habits and routines in place, ending my binge eating, it's no wonder why my business is blossoming. It's no wonder why literally everyone in the freaking world is coming into my programs. Like, I am the binge eating coach because I've done the work myself. Like, I have healed, and now I am a living, breathing embodiment of what people are looking for.
I think from a health perspective, the reason why it really impacts everything, not just your business, your work, your relationships, is because the amount of energy, like we all have a certain level of capacity, whether it's physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy, there is a level of capacity at which we can carry and operate in our day to day. And every little aspect of our life takes away a bit of that energy. You have some of it for your relationships, you have some of it dedicated to your work, dedicated to your business, dedicated to your family. And anytime you have something that's dragging that energy down, you can give less and less to those things. I kind of call them like anchors that you're dragging behind you that are actually preventing you from catapulting to the next stage, to the next level of growth. And at the beginning, when maybe like you're just tired a couple of times a week, or you haven't gotten a good night's rest, or a couple of days here and there isn't really something that you're going to notice or that you're going to see impacts you, until you let something like your relationship with food, out of control eating, these or in my case hormonal issues, really start to sabotage the way you operate day to day. Like, I know for me, when I was waking up completely exhausted and I could sleep 8 hours a day, but felt like I only had slept one and a half, it was really hard for me to show up 110% and really build our business when I just wanted to take a nap, when I was trying to run on 6 cups of coffee, when my brain was super foggy, when I had these really high highs and low lows and almost depression like symptoms because all my hormones were out of whack. And if it was something that I had continued to allow, we probably wouldn't have the business that we had, or all of the things, or be able to travel like we could, because I would still be focused on how bad I feel. And that's one of those things where when you have these energy draining anchors and when you're working on things in your health that are dragging you behind, it's really hard to look forward when you're just trying to like function. Like,
Yeah.
I just need to wake up and make it through my day, or keep a certain amount of energy per day. And that's why it's so important that we double down and we cut those energetic ties that are pulling behind us, whether it's working on your relationship with food, working towards your health. Sometimes maybe there are certain relationships that carry energetic ties. You have to make sure that you're dealing with them and cutting them like we did, so that way we could continue to excel and actually fully embody what we were preaching, which was, of course, health, which is what we chose.
I think too, it's like sometimes when things are going really well in your life, like Andrew and I have always had a great relationship. We've always had a great family life. We had a good career. Like, we had our own business. Like, everything was going well. It's sometimes easy to be like, oh, I don't really have to tackle I don't have to tackle my food stuff or my hormone stuff. Like, it's okay if I have low energy. Like, everything else in my life is going well. But you listening, you're the type of person that wants to have it all. Like, you don't just want to like feel healthy and feel strong and feel energetic, but you want like every single area of your life to just feel like magical, and your relationships are good, your career is good, and that as a result of really working on your health, working on yourself, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, and like actually getting this proper support that you need, like that's just going to be another success in your life. And it is inevitably going to make you happier. It's going to make you healthier. It's going to make you more wealthier. Like, it's just it's just a ripple effect. Whether you're in a corporate job or you have your own business, like working on your health, like I don't know one successful business owner who doesn't focus on their health. Like, You know what I mean? Like if you truly want to be the best, like whether you have a business or not, you want to be the best mom, you want to be the best wife, you want to be the best business owner, you want to be the best person at your job. It's like you need to take care of the human behind you. Like, you know what I mean? You need to take care of yourself.
And the crazy part is, I remember us like going through the beginning of our business, being told that you have to sacrifice everything for just one aspect of your life. When that's not true, you can literally have it all.
Yeah.
And us being examples of this, and saying, not only are we practicing what we preach, but we have time for ourselves every day. We get to go on walks every single day. We get to build a business. We have amazing communities. We're financially set in a place where we don't have to worry about money. And all of those things come from the abundance mindset of being able to always be in a state of growth. Like you're either growing or you're dying in your life. And if you're choosing a state of growth, things are always going to get better.
Yeah.
And sure, sometimes things take longer than other stuff. Like, it's taken us 8 years to build this business. But I truly believe that, the divine source, whatever you want to kind of label it as, like the longer you are waiting for something, like source is going to give it to you in the greatest form, in the best form, often in more times than you're actually looking for it. So I agree with that. I think it's by putting a focus on yourself and allowing yourself to show up as the best version, your life is just going to be that much more amazing.
Yeah. But I think sometimes that's the challenging part. Again, when things are going well in your life, it's like, oh, like, do I have to really work on this? Like things are going good. Like, and that was my story. Like, again, like we had a good relationship. We had our own business. Like we've had a great family. Like we still do. Like we have an incredible family. And, for so many years I thought to myself, like, again, like this is just kind of the way that it's supposed to go. And, it hit me the moment where I was like, I am destined for so much more. Like, I have my own business, but like I'm gonna scale to $1 million. Like I was serving clients, but it's like I want to help 1 million clients. I was, like, you know what I mean? It's like I had freedom because we had our own business, but it's like, no, I want to, travel around the world and have a place in another country and like all these other things. Like, and when you know that deep down in your heart, you literally cannot go after it. Like when you have it in your heart that you're set out to do something, it's like you're just going to do it. And the reason that I'm so passionate about obviously what I specifically do is because when you go through it, like Andrew and I both have had our health journeys. And when you go through something that has been so transformative in your life, you can't just sit here and not share it. Like when you learn something that has completely changed the trajectory of your life, like I need to scream it from the rooftops, and that's why, I do the binge eating coaching. That's why Andrew does the hormone coaching. And now he's even getting into business coaching because he's been able to grow his business successfully. And again, when you have done something in your life that is, making a big impact, that is bringing you so much joy, it's like, I need to share this with people. I've cracked the code. I know how to get here. And it's like, here you go. Here's a blueprint. If you just take action on this, like you can also, stop your binge eating, balance your hormones, have a successful business. Like, and this is also why we always hire like coaches and mentors, because learning from somebody who is where you want to be is the greatest thing you can do for yourself. You don't have to try to think, oh, how do I do this? It's like, oh, this person's been in my shoes. They get me. They've done it. They've ended their binging. They skyrocketed their business, whatever it is that you're wanting. And it's like, I'm going to learn from them so that I can get there as well too.
Yeah, I think you said a couple of points. The first thing about the level of like you feel super comfortable. Yeah. Feeling super comfortable comes from being the biggest person in your room, energetically, emotionally. And when I talk about being the biggest in your room, it's like of all of your friends, of all of your family members, of all of the people around you, if you want the people around you to be in a farther place, a higher level, because energetically that helps you go to the next thing. If you're in a state where you have a good job, you have a stable family, and maybe you're just working on your relationship with food, but everyone around you, I mean, they're struggling to get work, or like you're like, it's almost impossible for you to grow and experience a new height because you're not seeing what is possible out there. And that's the power of having a community. It's the power of working in a group and having people beside you who up level. And even, for example, my transition into business coaching. As a coach, being able to generate $1 million in revenue and helping 3,800 people, I know that if I want to be able to help 250,000 people, I'm not going to be able to do that by myself. It's through other coaches. It's through helping and empowering other business owners to help them be able to help as many people as possible. So that way, when they're building their brand and their community and they're changing lives, I'm changing lives through them. And it's the same thing, just like you can change your own life. You are the result of the people around you. Me and Lorna carry and bring mentors into our lives to have strong people around us because we want to continue to grow. You guys are in group communities, and you guys are in, whether it's the Conquer or a different membership, like regardless of what aspect or group or the community that you're in, it's really about taking a look and saying, who is in your room? Are there other people playing bigger than you? And while we can celebrate these successes, we have friends and we have people that we're really tight knit with who are way farther, who have 3 to 4 kids, who have established businesses, who have 300 employees, who are doing $3 to $4 million. And to us, that excites us. That shows us you can have a huge family, travel every single day, and build these phenomenal businesses and change a lot of lives, which encourage us to grow all the time.
I think that's a huge aspect too. Like, why we want to share our successes is because, like, number one, like, it's truly a decision. Like, it's truly a decision to make this happen. Like, anybody can do this. Like, anyone that has it in them of like, whether it's I want to stop my binge eating, I want to build an incredible business, or like with the hormone thing, like whatever it is that you want, like you can do it the moment that you decide, like, I am ready for this, like I'm going to do this, you can transform your life. And the reason we want to share our success is to really like just show you with the power of self-belief, with the power of action, with the power of the proper support, like you can absolutely get here. And, yeah, we have friends, we have, mentors and people who are, doing insane things that, way beyond where we're at, but that doesn't diminish our success. And that right there is so important, because you might be looking at somebody who's be like, oh no, but like it can happen for them, or it can't happen for me, or like good for you, but like that's not my life. But instead, it's like, use that as number one, fuel to like the fire of like, I'm going to get there. But also too, it's like, thank you for showing me what's possible. Like, like somebody has to go first. And in my life, I've always wanted to be that one to go first. I don't wait to see evidence to see like, oh, what's possible. It's like, no, I'm going to be that person to go. And even if it doesn't make logical sense, I went from being a personal trainer to a binge eating coach, and like that process, it was scary. It was like, is this the right thing to do? Everyone knows me as the health coach, and I made that transition. And now Andrew is doing a lot of, he was doing a lot of hormone coaching, and he's still doing that, but he's really focusing on helping other business owners, and you can talk about that in a second. But are these things scary? Do you have to lean into the fear? Do you have to, make changes and be willing to like take risks? 100%. But it's always worth it. Like when you go after what it is that you want and you're in pure alignment with what it is that you want, it's like it's always going to work. It's always going to work. When you listen to your intuition and you do things that feel really good for you in alignment, even if it feels scary, it's like you're always going to get the outcome that you want.
So it's interesting that you talk about that, about the fear, the uncertainty, because it was about, I think, a year and a half ago when the first business client had reached out, and they had reached out to me, and it was actually through another networking group. And they were like, hey, you've built such a phenomenal brand. How do you do this? And at first I felt that feeling of like, should I be coaching this? Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough to be doing this? So I told myself, you know what? I'm going to continue to focus on helping people, of course, with the hormones, because I was confident in that. But I'm just going to like on the side, just kind of work with this person almost as a contractor, really help them build their business. And then it became a second client that reached out, and then a third client that reached out. And in making those changes and those transformations, not only did I find a ton of joy, but I recognized that any single person that you bring in as a mentor does not have to be at an incredibly large or end destination. They just have to be farther along in the journey in the process than you are. And this is the benefit of experience. It's the benefit of learning. And a large part of me committing and making that decision to transition into business coaching to help other coaches was because I have lived the process. I have the proof on how to be able to build and establish a great brand. But the most important thing is I also have the consistency and the dedication required. And that's all the proof I need. Like Lorna said, I don't need to say to myself, can I scale to $100 million? At the end of the day, I need confidence in where I am and where I know that I can go. And that is the only thing that I use to really make that decision outside of, does it excite me and does it make me feel fulfilled? And when doing that, not only did I start to show up a lot stronger, of course, as a business coach, but people, it's funny, when you are in energetic alignment with something, the world will bring you whatever you need to tackle that thing. And this is where people start reaching out. Hey, what's the coach to coach program about? How do I fast launch my program? And start having conversations with you on being able to actually like just start with you. It just happens almost organically. We believe, guys, and I cannot stress this enough. We believe that everything that we have to do in our life to get to the next level has to be really hard. Like overcoming my relationship with food has to be some type of a mountainous journey. Starting a business has to be completely overwhelming. Building a brand, starting a new job, I got to jump through hoops of fire. That's not true. The majority of businesses, of brands, anything that we're working towards our health, we can do it in a passionate way. We can just show up consistently every day, live our lives alongside doing that. And we actually don't have to work that hard against something because when you look at energy, it's being, thinking, planning, and then acting. And oftentimes we're just trying to act and struggle through the action, which is why it feels super overwhelming to do. When instead, spending more time being present, spending more time thinking about the future and what the possibilities could be the difference between you living a binge free life, you starting and actually finishing your business and being able to go through, because there's like our client who started in the coach to coach program. Julie, like she had been humming and hawing on her business. She was a fully certified coach. She was sitting on her certification for a year because she was just really nervous to start, really anxious to start. And it was amazing how, like, the moment she decided and she set herself into alignment with that, her business, we launched it and it rolled in like 3 months just because she was like, I am now making the choice. And then everything in the universe lined up for her to be able to do that. The time off work, the things that she was able to change, her transition out of her job, all of those things allowed her to make that full move. But it only happened, and these changes that are meant for you only happen the moment you actually choose to make that choice.
It's just you have to decide, like even at the beginning of whether it was healing my relationship with food or starting the business, it's like I didn't know what to do, where to start. Obviously, I had coaches and mentors, but it's like you just got to start. Like, even on the journey of healing my relationship with food, like from the beginning to even like 1 or 2 months in, like so much can change. But it's like if you're waiting for things to be perfect in order for you to start, you're going to be waiting the rest of your life. Same with growing a business, like even this podcast. I didn't have this podcast, when I first started my business. Like it's like, as you progress, as you just take action, then it's like, things just get better over time, whether it's relationship with food, business, whatever it is, right? Like, it's just, you have to get started, and then it's, okay, well, that didn't work. Okay, well, then what can I do instead? And it's always like that trial and error. But the people who have the good relationship with food, or the business, and who are, making good money, making a great impact in this world, they just start. Like, that's literally it. Like, they just start. Imagine if we didn't start back in, whatever it was. Like, imagine if I didn't start healing my relationship with food, I wouldn't be here. Imagine if Andrew didn't start his business, he wouldn't be helping so many clients and having this, he's doing a men's retreat at the end of September. Like, he wouldn't have done that, or wouldn't be able to do that, if he didn't start. So the key is, like, you just have to start. Like, you have an idea, you just go for it. Like, it's a huge aspect.
A big piece of that hesitation to starting is a heavy attachment to the outcome. I don't want to start something unless I'm guaranteed to be binge free. I don't want to start something unless my business is guaranteed to hit 10K months. When in reality, the moment you detach from the outcome, because the outcome will come. Yeah. It will always come as long as you want it and you're working towards it, the outcome will come. The moment you detach from any expectation of what that outcome looks like or how long that outcome is going to take, then everything that you do is going to be in alignment, and you're going to be excited about it because you're not expecting something. Whenever you try to do something or put something into your life and you give it conditions, like I remember when we first started the business and we were doing the studio, and like, you put a piece of content out there expecting that people respond to it, or like, I remember opening the first key to the door, and I was like, why aren't people funneling into the door? I was expecting that, when in reality, that's not how life works. Life is going to give you whatever you need as long as you have the right mentors and you're just openly working towards it every day.
And you're committed, and you're passionate, and you have it set in your mind that it's going to happen. Like, I've always known deep down that, like, I'm going to serve 1 million people. I've always known deep down that, like, I'm going to conquer my binge eating. So it's never about how long is it going to take me, but is it going to happen? It's like, no, it's going to happen. And I just, like, showed up every single day like it's going to happen, because it will. And, like, that's why I have the results that I have. That's why we have the results that we have, because it's like, you just go for it. Like, there's literally no excuses, no BS. It's just like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to make happen. And you just go for it.
If you never try, you'll never get.
Yeah.
And just like, if you never ask, you'll never receive. So
yeah. And you're that type of person that's going to do that as well too. Like, while everyone's like humming and hawing, or like, oh, like, I'd love to one day start my own business, or I'd love to, have a good relationship with food. It's like, you're going to be that person that takes action and skyrockets and transforms your life. And, the person still thinking about it is still going to be thinking about it. And you're like 1 year binge free, and 1 year into your business, or 1 year of living your binge free life, or whatever it is. Like, that's what's going to happen,
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I'm so blessed that we've been able to help as many people as we have.
Yeah.
But I think I'm also blessed too, that in being as healthy as we are, I don't think that I could have truly enjoyed a lot of the things that I really value in our life. Like, our relationship would be significantly different if I was exhausted every day.
Yep.
Even like our recent trip to Japan,
Yep.
being healthy enough to be able to travel without restrictions, to do anything there and not be limited, not like my knees hurt or this is bad, or waking up every day feeling tired, like being able to fully experience that and just live our best life. It's something that I think a lot of people don't have, and you can totally have it, but like, it's something that I think even myself, trying to do more work every day to like be grateful of just that simple thing. Like, do you wake up, are you filled with energy, and are you just super happy that today is a sunshiny day?
Yeah.
Like, that could be the difference between whether or not you kickstart your day off right, or you're just, in Sulksville, just being like, oh, it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even like today, like, we went for a walk. It was probably like 1:30 or 2:00. And it was just like the happiest moment, like, just going around our block, like, nothing special, but it's just, when you truly take care of yourself, you go after what it is that you want. It's like, you literally live a life where you're like, what? Like, how? Like, what? We're going for a walk on a Tuesday afternoon. Like, just we can do whatever we want. It's like, it just feels fun. It just feels exciting. And everyone gets to experience this, and not everyone will, because it does require work. It does require effort. We put in so much we put in so much effort. Man, like the studio days, we were there for hours and hours and hours. Like,
some days.
yeah, it's like we put in so much work, even with, the relationship with food. Like, it does require effort, but the rewards, it's like you look back at your life and you're just so freaking proud of yourself, of like the version of yourself who just went for it, and that's the most incredible thing. So why don't you share, like, obviously you're making the transition into, you're wanting to do more business coaching. Like, did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big thing for me in making the transition is I realized that my goal of changing 5,000 lives in the health and wellness space, it was too small. And also, I'm never going to be able to change as many lives as I can if I just do it on my own. A large reason for making that change to help other coaches build their health business and do that is because I'm only one person. And even if I were to, quadruple my goal of 5,000 people, it's not enough. Just like you, I'm looking at it now like I can impact a million people, I can change a million things or a million people's lives if I help other coaches get into a position where we have been able to. Like, we have built such strong communities, and it breaks my heart when I'm talking to coaches day to day who are phenomenal coaches. They can change a lot of people's lives. They're working with great people. They've changed a lot of results, but either don't have the strategy behind what to do, or they don't know how to build systems to make it scalable, and so they feel like they're stuck. And a lot of health coaches, and you guys may not see this, a lot of coaches in the industry really struggle with themselves, with their
Mm-hmm.
headspace, with their mindset, because they just want to help you guys so badly, but they're not helping as many people as they can. And so they feel conflicted all the time. They don't feel like they're coaching anybody. They feel like it's really hard to get started, and they have really passionate clients when they could have these beautiful communities, just like you guys have with Lorna and what we have in Fit for All. These communities can exist with every single coach. So in making the transition, we have basically a program that's called Fast Launch, which is helping these coaches build their first group coaching program in 60 days, literally everything, the content, the client delivery, the process, the promotion, so that way they can build these really big, fulfilling communities and feel excited about what they're doing every day, feel fulfilled when they're coaching, and impact more lives. And for me, the best part for me is when those coaches succeed, I get to change more lives through them. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the best part about the podcast episodes that we do for you guys, about the content and the social media posts and stuff. We are looking to do this so we can change as many people as possible. And what a better way to change their lives than to help a coach build a community, build a social media following, build an audience, build a podcast of their own, to be able to change more lives with our guidance and with our help. So that's been my focus moving forward, is to really help these business owners succeed and help them build a community in which they get excited and fired up like we're fired up living every single day. Because there are two things that make a coach feel defeated, coaching nobody, feel like they're talking to nobody, or being a broke coach. Like, it's, kind of hard to feel fulfilled and excited every day when you're like, hey, I'm not making the money I know I deserve, or I'm not filling my cup in that way so I can have these amazing experiences. Because another thing too about coaching is like, what allows me and Lorna to show up as really strong coaches are when we travel, are when we experience new things, because this ignites us to then pass that fire on to you guys. If we're not experiencing new things, if we're not growing, if we're not doing new things like retreats and events and all of these new areas in which we're pushing ourselves, how can we then tell you guys to grow and change and transform? So That's really the focus of the program. So we have Fast Launch that's going to be launching August 19th, and I'm doing a live seminar August 1st to show business coaches and owners how to build their first funnel. And then from there, we're going to launch their program.
So exciting. I'll definitely be sure to leave all the links down below in the show notes if you guys are interested in that. It's going to be incredible. Super excited.
You're the best. I love it. And you know what? I'm just so blessed that you have such an amazing community and you've changed so many people's lives. And it's insane because you talk about the podcast like if you had never started the podcast. I remember when we were just talking about the podcast and like you've got, I mean, hundreds of thousands of downloads. You've got, well, I think close to 400 episodes at this point.
Almost 600.
Almost 600 episodes. Goes to show you, you're doing like so many a week, which is incredible. But like all of this stems from just like a starting point.
Yeah.
And once you get that, like the momentum starts with a moment.
Yeah.
That moment is a decision. It's a choice. So, yeah.
And that moment and that decision is that ripple. So, in 2019, when I said yes to healing my relationship with food, it's like I also said yes to an even greater relationship. I said yes to more wealth. I said yes to a more fulfilling life. I said yes to more impact, more influence. Like, you don't just say yes and like yes to one thing and like congratulations. It's like it creates that ripple effect, even with my family, like, even my mom, like, when we spend time with our families, it's like the dynamic is just so much greater because when you're healthier, when you're happier, it just impacts everyone else around you, whether it's your kids, your family, your partner, your coworkers, whoever it is, like it just a ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right.
Nice.
We are wrapping up this episode. Anything else you want to say?
No, just go crush your lives and kick butt. That's pretty much it.
Pretty much what we tell ourselves every single day.
Love it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, you guys. Well, this is all for this episode of Getting Real with the Costas. Again, Andrew's going to be launching his program Fast Launch, and he's going to be really helping business owners scale their group coaching program. So if you guys are interested in that, I will leave the link down below for you. You can also connect with Andrew. He has his own podcast as well too, and his Instagram as well too. So you guys can connect with him on there as well too.
Well, it seems I'm all out of info juice for today. That's all for this episode. And thank you so much for listening. Please leave a raving review for me if you've learned something good, and make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. Now, if you're in the mood for some more great content and tools to get your hormones on track, why not check out our free Facebook group and the blog on our site. We do amazing weekly trainings in our group that me and my wife call Tea and Teachings that give good tips for anything hormones and metabolism related. It's also a great community where you get to share your goals and success with like-minded people just like you. I'll make sure to drop both the Facebook group link and the blog link in the show notes for you. Or if you're ambitious like me, the name of the group is Weight Loss and Balanced Hormones. It'll say Fit for All beside it with a picture of me. So come and join us and have more fun.